I think anyone's worst fear is losing someone you love right in front of your eyes. Well, it happened to me. I met Bubba in 2012. We were out at Expo Center at a party, and funny, because he has a southern way of talking. So when I met him, he had said like, "Hey, baby," or something, and hugged me, and I just fell for him then. And I went home that night telling my friends that I liked him, and then I went searching for him, honestly, on Twitter. And I don't know what made me go to Twitter, but at the time, everybody was on Twitter. So I went and found him, and we just started basically communicating. And he kept trying to get together and do something with me, and I just kept kind of blowing him off. Then we finally got together, we kicked it, and then we just hit it off. And from there, we just became honestly the best of friends, and it was natural. I was 20 years old when, well, I had been dealing with a lot of different issues as far as um, just like my menstrual period, and just trying to figure out what was going on with my body and why I was in a lot more pain than most people. And I had been going to the doctor for several years, and they couldn't ever figure anything out. And I think I was about 20 years old, and we went to the doctor one day, and the doctor came back in the room, and he was just basically telling us, after I had a procedure done, he was saying that he figured out that I had endometriosis. And we didn't know what that was, so we were both looking at each other trying to figure out it was endometriosis. So the doctor came back in and just kind of giving us a rundown and little pamphlets of everything that was going on, and just letting us know that this condition was going to make it hard for us to have kids. So, of course, we were both kind of, tore up about that, just because we knew we wanted that. We didn't have a time limit on it. But eventually we were trying, and nothing was ever happening. And then in 2018, I ended up getting pregnant, and we were happy. I was probably 4 weeks pregnant, and then we kind of started telling people. But I think maybe a week or like a week or two later, we had actually took my stepkids to the playground, and I think I forgot that I was pregnant, and I was playing around with them, and I think probably just being a little too rough, and I ended up miscarrying. And so, of course, everything that we had already experienced as far as hearing that we weren't going to be able to have kids was already just like, well, now we got this to deal with. So we got through that, whatever, and we're just, we're worried about, okay, well, at least we know now that it's possible. It's just not the right timing right now. So a year later, I was pregnant again, and I had Brielle, my baby girl. She's 2 now. I had her, and shortly after, another year, not even a whole year, I was having another baby girl, Bay, and she's 1 now. And I mean, we were just happy to have kids. And for him, he was happy because he was finally going to have kids that lived in the same household with him. So that was a big thing for him.
A little bit more. Yeah, right there. And let her look back at T again.
Look at mommy. Look at mommy.
All right, for 3 more seconds. 1.
Happy birthday to you.
He honestly taught me a lot. if it wasn't for him, I don't even know if I would be who I am today. Things that stick out with me. When I first met Bubba, I had just got out of a abusive relationship, and during our talking stage, like he seen me struggling to like deal with it and to heal from what I had been through. So Bubba actually told me to send a message, reach out to that person and to let them know how I was feeling and how they hurt me, and just like to make sure they knew how it had made me feel, and like, how I was dealing with it. So I guess you can say he taught me how to stand up for myself, but to also like try to forgive. It's hard to forgive, but to try to forgive the situation, and so that I can move past it and actually be able to be emotionally available for him. That's one thing. He taught me. He taught me love. He taught me how to be family oriented. I had never really did the whole family thing. I always just kind of like, I would be around family, but I was never interested in like actually having fun with family and, just being involved. So seeing him with his family and how much they loved on each other and like did family events and just were always coming together, it taught me how to be more open to accepting love. That morning when we got up, we hadn't been in our house long. We had just moved in there, so I know we were still getting stuff together, and we still had a newborn baby. So a lot of that morning was pretty much, I believe, us just really doing the normal like parent duties. We had of course, a 1 year old, and then we had a baby that was what, 4 weeks old. So a lot of our morning really was just parenting and taking care of the kids and moving around the house, cleaning up regular stuff. We ended up planning a date night because it got to the point where we were so consumed with parenting and dealing with our babies that we weren't really getting much time with each other. And I was also in school, so most of the times he would have the girls and I would be gone all day to class. And then when I'm getting home, it's like I'm tired, and I also I have to breastfeed. Now I have to clean. I have to do all these other things that take time away from me and him. So we ended up planning a date night. Had my mom keep our kids, and we ended up dropping them off. And actually, before we dropped them off, he had a date night with his oldest daughter, and he was excited about going, which me and the babies were supposed to go with them. But it was just a tassel of trying to get them together and get myself together and be ready to leave at the same time that he was ready to go. So we ended up just letting him go, and he ended up taking his daughter on a date first, and which was eventful because she wanted to do everything, and he ended up taking her to Jump Street, and they had a ball. They laughed. He came home talking about how he hurt his back and he thought he broke his back, but he left from there, and he was just texting me, making sure I was ready for the night, and we ended up getting the girls together, dropping them off, and we headed out to our first spot because that night we had plans on being out forever, all night. And we ended up going down to Antioch, and we went to a spot out there, and then we enjoyed ourselves out there. We had so much fun. We ended up being the last people in the place, and we sat there and laughed. I mean, we talked about everything. We laughed until the DJ was walking out the door, the owner was walking out, and we just were enjoying each other, enjoying that time that we really had been missing out on. And for us, that wasn't really normal because before the kids came, we did everything together. I mean, every single thing you can think of. Like, there were moments where we worked together. We went everywhere together. Every time you seen him, you seen me, or anytime you seen me, you seen him. But that night, we just really were taking in the moment. So we went to our first spot. Then we left there and we went to another spot. And I mean, that night, I mean, it was still like we were just still just kicking it, just enjoying life. And after we left that spot, we went to one last spot. We actually didn't stay at the second spot too long. We were only there probably like 30 minutes, but it wasn't really just what we were looking for. So we left there and we went to one last spot and decided before we went home, we were just going to really just go kick it at one last spot and just enjoy that night and that time, because we knew we didn't have to worry about going to pick up the girls that night. So that last spot, it just didn't end how we expected it to end. Traumatized. Shots got me feeling unheard and undeserved. Wishing I could get my life back, because this shit is absurd. Now I'm sitting here trying to make you feel what I heard, and them bullets flying got me crying, shutting down, and messing with my nerves. Seeking for help, because only God knows the damage and the pain that I felt. Looking to my left, watching him take his last breath, witnessing his death. It's just crazy to see somebody that's full of life not have any of that, and to look helpless and just knowing that that's just not them. And it's thoughts like that I just can't get rid of.
Is this real right now? Like, is this really happening?
Since 2012, and you have been everything to me.
I'm confused. Wait a minute. Hold on. I thought this was about Janard. Wait a minute.
You have been everything to me. You have stuck by my side. You've been everything, baby. Will you marry me?
Yes. I look so crazy. The way nobody even tell me to get dressed.
Yeah, I'm supposed to tell you.
Oh my God.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Woo.
Thank you. I love it.
Oh, look at it.
Oh God. Y'all got me.
That was the plan. Sweet girl.
I don't know, a lot of days I try not to think into it, but it's that reality of it's still there, because it's a picture. It's like it's not something I can just let go, or not really have to have that vision of. But I don't know, I guess for me, it's like I really lost my best friend. I lost my everything. I lost the person that I depended on to do all the manly things, depended on for even the things that weren't manly. Like, he was that man that didn't mind, just being him and doing whatever it took to like just make me happy, make his family happy, and just make everybody around him happy. That night was it was something different. I had never seen that coming. I wish 1,000 times I could take the night back, rearrange it, something, or maybe not even go out on a date night. And then I feel selfish for thinking like that, because we got so much time together. And in those last moments, we got to just embrace each other and just talk about so much. And I don't know, I just wish that it could have been more time, more days with him, more years, more just, I wish I could have got to spend the rest of my life with him instead of it getting cut short.